To add the data, we will open the dashboard fragment.kt file. Here, let's declare an array list called booklist and add 10 book names to it. Next, declare and initialize a variable for the adapter. Again, we use activity as the context along with the keyword as. We also pass the book list in the parameters so that the adapter class can use it. Now, why have we used this keyword as for the context? This leads us to the concept of typecasting. Let's understand what this is. In computer science, typecasting means changing the data type of a variable. In Kotlin, this can be done using the keyword as. Usually, typecasting is done so that the functions that need to be performed on the variables can be performed properly. Let's say we have two numbers, one integer and another of type double. Now we need to perform some operation, let's say division on these numbers. In such cases, it is always better to typecast one of these numbers to the data type of another so that they both have the same data type and the function can be performed without any complications. While typecasting, we need to be very careful since many casts may not be possible. This will result in a null pointer exception and the app will crash. When the cast is not possible, Android Studio lets us know that. All we need to do is pay attention to errors and warnings. Let's look at an example of typecasting. We are declaring an integer type variable here. Then here we are typecasting it as string. We get a message saying that the cast can never succeed. Even if we change the data type to double, the cast does not succeed. Now, let's cast the integer variable to a nullable int type. The cast succeeds now. Typecasting a nullable data type to a non-nullable data type using the same data type and vice versa will always succeed. Also, typecasting application context as context will also succeed. Now, let's remove this variable since we don't need it. So, let's change this activity as context to activity and see what the compiler has to say. We get the error and it says that it required context but it found fragment activity, which is the nullable activity of the fragment. But we also know that the context for any fragment is obtained from its activity. So this means that what the studio has found and what it requires are somewhat similar. The activity is the context and we cannot change that. So to resolve this error, we can simply write activity as context here and see the error gets resolved. This is typecasting. Sometimes when we give something similar to what is required, we can typecast it as required to remove such errors. Make sure you understand the concept of typecasting well, since we will be using it in the upcoming topics. Coming back to the code now. We have initialized the adapter, the recycler view and the layout manager. Next, we need to set all these up with the recycler view. We will write these two pieces of code to do that. We have simply initialized the adapter and the layout manager here and attached them to their respective files. So our list is set up now. Time to run the app and check the progress. We are getting only one book's name. We can scroll, another book name, scrolling, another book. Something went wrong. The recycler view is scrolling, but each name is taking up an entire page. Let's go back and check the layout file first. We are going to the XML file which had the view for one item of the list. Here, we have given the height as match parent. That is why it was taking up the entire space. Let's change it to wrap content and run the app again. Yes, we get the list of 10 books now. Wow, we have created our first list in Android using the Recycler view. All we need to do now is to add more items to each row and make the list's UI better. We will go ahead and make the list look like this. So, every item will have the name of the book, the name of the author, the image of the book cover, the rating of the book, and the price of the book. To create this, we will have to add more views to the layout file we created for single list view. Also, we will not give the real content in the UI and the data will be stored separately. You can go ahead and make some other UI of your own choice as well. Since we have worked quite a bit on UIs together, go ahead and make this one on your own. I'll do the same. Let's meet in the next video with the UI created for this screen. All the best!